how these guys launched a new category within a commoditized industry that led them into a $200 million brand. Let's dive into Super Coffee. Let's go. What's up, everyone? Sean Azari here. I'm with Matt Skopak.
What's going on, everyone?
Welcome to Deep Dive, episode 14, where we take businesses like Super Coffee and dive into their business and marketing strategies such that you can take away these strategies and then start implementing them into your business. These guys, I believe, started in 2016 or 2015 or late 2015. Coffee always existed, especially in ready-to-go drinks. I believe Starbucks has it and so forth. But they did something different, and that's what we're going to get into. Maybe add a little bit more context about their story before we get into some of their strategies.
These three brothers started from a dorm room, and they actually have now become one of the biggest risers in the coffee market. They basically took the age-old coffee and kind of went a different route with it, and they made it healthy, no sugar, no garbage, and then healthy with MCT oil and protein. And this kind of variation has exploded over the last 4 years. So today, we're going to jump in talking about Super Coffee, and I think Sean's going to lead us off with number one.
Number one, but let me get a little taste.
Yeah. By the way, guys, my favorite, vanilla. Fire.
Need that little boost. Number one is find and set up a new category such that you could be first in. So a lot of people, when they start a brand, they want to just try to be better. Everything's become commoditized, just like this. What Super Coffee did, right? They knew this already existed. The founder wanted another healthy alternative where a coffee that had basically zero sugar, gluten-free, lactose-free, and also has a high amount of protein. I believe 10 grams of protein.
Correct.
Right? And it was also made with organic ingredients. I believe it's MCT oil. It's made with coconut oil.
And then the only sugar is monk fruit, which is probably the healthiest sweetener out there today. Huge trend.
And on top of that, which is most important, it needs to taste amazing. And that's what he did. He created his own category. So try to understand that concept. What's important here is realizing where trends are going, especially when the CBD business came out. I want to little divert here, right? When CBD became legalized or it was becoming a new hot thing, what people were doing is creating CBD type of products. You want to be the first to create that CBD coffee and so forth.
Yeah.
A good reference to note here is actually what I'm referencing, a book that I'm reading, it's Tools of Titans, and it's a chapter where they reference the law of category. And one of the things they reference here, which is a great example, Heineken, there's like a few big beer companies. There's Heineken, there's Anheuser. Heineken was the first high-priced imported beer. Now, Anheuser could have gone that route as well, which I believe they did, but they just didn't dominate in that market. Heineken did. Anheuser said, you know what? If there's a market for high-priced imported beer, there has to be a market for high-priced domestic beer.
Yeah.
They introduced Michelob, and within a year, I believe, they outsold Heineken 2-1. So they created a new category, and they really went aggressive in marketing that category, and so forth. So thinking about that way, don't try to think like how to become better, like better brand. Try to think of a way to become first in some sort of category, because people they don't care what brand is better. They care what's new, and then obviously better as well.
Exactly. Just a little bit of a variation. That's it. Don't try to outbrand them or outcompete them. Just change the product or change the category, exactly like you said, exactly with what Super Coffee did. So great point. I'll jump in for number two. Have a strong mission and story. And we always talk about this with all the brands, and I guess it's kind of a coincidence. It's not really a coincidence that every successful brand that we go over that sold for hundreds of millions of dollars, they have a strong mission and they have a strong brand. Because if you're looking to grow and you're going to be successful, you need to have those 2 points to really do it. It helps you cut down your marketing costs because you have brand awareness. But how did Super Coffee do this? So they had a strong mission, and it was to basically solve the problem of having energy drinks that were healthy for you. That's what their problem solved. And their story was, hey, grew up. These were three.
Because a lot of the products in the past, as we mentioned earlier,
Yeah, it was
they
all
had a
the
lot of
Starbucks.
sugar.
All the Starbucks drinks are made with real sugar, cane sugar, and have 30 grams of sugar in them. And they're made with ingredients that just give you a rush, and then you're going to fade out. That's the premise of these energy drinks and the coffee. Super coffee is totally different. Organic ingredients that are all healthy, no sugar, and protein. So that's the key problem, and he was coming from, the main kid, Jake, was coming through from a athletic background. All the brothers do, and they basically said their story is, hey, I was in the dorm room, I had this problem, and we want to solve this mission, so this is why we create this brand. And that is what resonates with the retailers when they got into Whole Foods. That's what resonates with their customers. That's what resonates with me, as I love this brand and I take it every day, is because I want to enjoy caffeine and coffee, but I want the healthy benefits and none of the garbage, which is sugar.
Storytelling sells. We see it in a lot of these brands, especially when you're coming a new brand. You have to have a powerful story. These guys we talk about also. Yep.
Guys, name it. Pura Vida, Warby Parker, Chubby's.
They're all starting somewhere. They're starting in a basement. They're starting in someone's house, or they're sharing a warehouse space. So all these have.
Isn't that
these
weird?
companies have
Isn't that
these
a little bit
similarities.
weird? Let's think of other companies that started in warehouses. Apple, that started in the garage. Super Coffee started in the dorm room. Chubby's started. Chubby's started? I think out of nowhere in someone's room making it. Warby Parker started in an apartment. Pura Vida started on the beach in Hawaii. Guys, none of these businesses are started by like geniuses or in high-profile buildings or apartments. They're started bootstrapping in apartments, garages. So start your idea and do it from the confines of wherever you can.
All right, love it. Number 2, implement a push notification strategy.
Yes.
So when you go on Super Coffee's website, within, I believe, 15 seconds, you get an alert. Not just a pop-up for signing up to the newsletter, which you need as well. You're gonna need a strategy on that as well. But this one is an alert. So it asks you if you want to receive notifications whenever there's a new product on the site, if there's a sale, a flash sale, and so forth. This allows you, and you could do this through third-party apps. I actually use this for Reborn, and it's called Push Owl. It's a Shopify app. There's a free version, but obviously to get more advanced features, like if you want to segment your audience, if you get tons of impressions on your site, and so forth, you got to pay for those features. You could also remind users, right, that if they actually accept those notifications, if they left something in their cart, they get a notification right in real time on their phone if they have the mobile notification on, or on their desktop. They don't have to be on the site also. Yeah. They just have to be on their computer.
This blew my mind, really. Yeah. Like when Sean explained this to me, so you go to their site, it's an alert, and you press OK for the push-up notifications. Say 2 days later, you're off the site and you're on Google, and they're doing a big sale, and a notification pops up on your either computer screen or your mobile phone, wherever you logged in and pressed accept, and it will tell you on that website, any website you're on, hey, we're having this sale. Like that.
Well, you don't have to be on a website. You could just be on your desktop, and you just get that alert.
That's crazy.
It's awesome, and it's also if you pay for the features, which is not that expensive. It's just maybe it's $20 a month if you just keep upgrading. They have different plans. Again, you get to segment your audience. You get to market what they have been doing on their website, so it's on-site behavior.
Yep.
So that's huge. The downfall, and I'll give you what I'm struggling with. Right, too many pop-ups can really annoy the customer. So you have to be really strategic. And I'm still testing out when should the pop-up come about. They say within 10 seconds with the website, but then I also have a feature, I just want to bring this through because people could relate to this. I also have a spin the wheel pop-up where they have their, they can enter their email and they get a discount code, which is really gets me high, signups for my newsletter, and then they can enter my email marketing flow. So
I think from my recommendation, being on websites and as a customer, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners can, I guess, attest to this, one pop-up on the website is about all I'm willing to deal with. If I start getting more than one,
you just got to be strategic. You've got to be strategic. A lot of e-commerce websites, they say, actually, there's a study on this. There's more open rates through the push notifications.
That's it. The emails, right?
Yep.
That's exactly what I said. That was interesting. So basically, these push notifications have a higher success of people opening them than emails.
Yep.
So I love that.
So try to implement a push notification strategies if you can. You could use apps like Push Owl as well. It's a third-party app that you could find on Shopify.
And that's awesome. That's awesome. Be naive to success and learn how to prioritize. When you're starting a business, this is for all you guys starting a business or you're starting anything, you could stay up for 48 hours straight And you will not get all the work that you need to get done
Not if you
while
eat
he's
coffee
eating
beans.
coffee beans straight, like Sean does.
Oh.
But you need to learn as an entrepreneur or just anyone starting a business that you need to prioritize what's the most important thing that you need to get done throughout a list written down, and then go from there. So the guys at Super Coffee said, hey, our biggest mistake was probably we thought as three brothers we could do everything in the beginning of the company.
A lot of people think that. I still think that with
Exactly.
Reborn. I'm trying to do a lot of things. I still have employees to implement such thing, but it is really hard. We come back to bootstrapping. Eventually, you want to delegate certain tasks to things that you can't really focus on or it takes too much time.
Exactly.
And you want to hire, you want to outsource.
And this is why a lot of the times VCs actually like it better when you have more than one entrepreneur running your business, because they know the burnout rate for one is very high and it's hard to get everything done. And reality speaking, you would like an introvert and an extrovert. Someone that focuses on data, sales, and everything inside the company, and then someone that can focus outside the company on either acquisitions or funding or something like that. So the main thing is, as a business owner, entrepreneur, learn how to prioritize, write down what you need to get done, and be okay and naive to you're not going to be able to get everything done.
Best tools of doing this, I use a lot, is Trello is one. It's a great project management tool where you could sign things that you need to do right now. Like if you do this task right now, how much will it help your business move forward? So it's a great way. Again, a lot of these books actually reference that. You realize a lot of entrepreneurs do this as well. And then tasks that are going to take a lot more time, or maybe something that you could delegate later on, you can put that on Trello as well. As long as it's there, so it doesn't
That's it.
just don't have it just in your mind or just write it on a piece of paper. Have it like a management tool like Trello or Asana as well, that you could track these projects and then delegate later.
And that's one of my this is actually one of my favorite quotes, is be naive to success. And what that really means is, Sean, a lot of us know that to become successful, you have to really put in a lot of work, and you're going to get told a lot of the time that it's not possible, that you can't do it. So you have to be naive and you have to be dumb and just take one step at a time when you're trying to really create something. So you have to be naive to the naysayers and whatnot, and just keep on moving forward.
This is number 5?
This is number 4, right? 4?
I think I did already 2.
Oh, 2? So number 5.
Right? We just skipped the number.
Did we?
Yeah.
See, this is what happened, guys.
It's all good.
Really into
it's either 4 or 5, but I believe it's 5, yes. Number 5, start a podcast around your brand thesis. Now, Super Coffee has a podcast, which is great. I actually listened to a little bit. I listened to like 2 podcasts. They have about 10 right now. It's called Positive Energy. It's not their brand name, but Positive Energy. It's around their brand thesis, right? Caffeine gets you to do things, gets you to keep going.
I love that.
And their podcast, I believe their first person they interviewed is Patrick Schwarzenegger, who's also an investor into the company, but you also hear his story. You hear some of the questions.
Guys, for you don't know it, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, who's a very awesome actor. So,
Everybody knows.
Hey,
Arnold.
maybe some people don't.
He was the governor of California, and he was the biggest icon. Okay, well,
That's
you're right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is his son, Patrick.
Yeah, so Patrick, goes ahead and discusses entrepreneurship, some of the companies he invested in, so forth. So he talks about his story. Again, this goes back into what? Creating a lifestyle content strategy, which they're incorporating as well. So people love hearing stories about other people. And the best part is, so there's another podcast they interview. Her name is Emily White, who worked with Facebook, I believe Instagram, Snapchat, and a lot of tech companies. And you really hear about her success as well. The questions that they're asking are very intriguing and so forth. And again, it relates to the brand overall, right? These people are successful. They're on the go. They're motivated. And that's all about, caffeine. It's just like when you're drinking coffee, you want to get things done. You want to get things done.
Yep.
So that's us. They're not saying, guys, drink super coffee. No, they're telling stories so people find these podcasts and they think of branding in a different way. It's indirectly promoting their product. So start a podcast around your brand thesis. Think of different ways it can do that. Sugar and Kush doesn't do this yet. I believe you guys could do this, right? Am I wrong or right?
What,
It's
podcast?
a brand that Matt is involved in. A company called Sugar and Kush, in case we have new listeners, which is a CBD-based company. But the podcast, I'm just suggesting topics.
Yeah,
it could
of
be
course.
like People talking about, you can have guest appearances talking about
ways to
stress management.
Exactly, yeah.
Or you
how
have
to find the right CBD company for you, how to make sure your CBD is legit, anything like that, just any type of content or podcast. Yeah,
Yep.
That's a great idea.
Awesome.
So, and that kind of leads me into the final point, into number 6. Find strategic investors. And this could be if your business is going to be acquired or merged, or you're raising money, or it could just be if you're starting a business, a restaurant. So find investors that could be strategic in helping you grow or sell the brand. So Super Coffee, who are some of their investors? Like Sean said, we said Patrick Schwarzenegger. We have Aaron Rodgers. His kind of venture, RX3 Ventures it's called, is one of the investors in Super Coffee. We had WeWork, who is one of the initials in Super Coffee. Who else? We have Baron Davis, who used to be a basketball player.
What about that football player? He said Green Bay.
That was Aaron Rodgers.
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers, everyone knows, one of the best quarterbacks probably to ever play football, and still currently plays for them. Baron Davis. And now in the new fundraising event they just raised anywhere from 25 to 35 to 30 million. This is a very interesting play, and I'm going to make my first prediction ever on this podcast. Anheuser-Busch was one of the lead investors in the $30 million raise that they just did, which valued them at over $200 million. So this is very similar to what we saw with Mirror. Lululemon invested first, and about 9 months later acquired them. So my guess is within the next year, you're going to see Anheuser-Busch acquire Super Coffee.
Bold statement.
Bold
I
statement.
like it.
For anywhere probably $350 to $450 million. It makes perfect sense. It would help Anheuser-Busch move into a different sales channel, into a different industry than alcohol, because alcohol is becoming very competitive right now. So this is a great move if they were to do that.
So you think they'll put alcohol in here?
No, I don't. I think they're just going to move into a different selection, a different area to gain sales and revenue.
Or maybe a new market as well.
New market as well. So I think that's my prediction. Mark it now. So when it does happen, you can come back and comment and be like, Matt, great insight. Or if it doesn't happen, you could just say, hey, mate, that was a great idea.
Yeah.
But that's my point. Strategic investors, no matter what you're doing, find an investor that not only can give you money, but that could help you either establish a relationship to grow the company or maybe represent you or something like that. So think outside the box.
Also, I'm going to do one more real quick, since
Bonus.
we really mention it, is create a strong referral program. It's another company that does this, is obviously Super Coffee.
Yes.
But one thing we don't mention, I believe in one of our podcasts, you mentioned
Referral Candy.
Referral Candy. Now, this is an app that I used actually right after we discussed it. And a couple things I've been struggling with. One is there's ways that people could play the system, and meaning that you could basically when someone's referring your brand, right? And let's say someone purchases that person purchases, and what happens if the advocate, the person that's sending that code and that customer purchases gets $15, $25 off, all right, after that purchase. But what happens if that customer returns the product? So you still gave your discount code or whatever, $15 off to the customer that referred it, but there's no way of preventing that. It's very hard. You got to implement all these tools. So I've noticed that two companies that use the same, I guess
Pure Vita and
Pure Vita,
Super Coffee?
Super Coffee uses Talkable, which is the referral program that you use, but it's much more expensive. I don't know how much it is. I went on the site and I said book a demo, and when it says book a demo, things are gonna be about to get pricey.
Yeah, and I think that one of their main, what they sell themselves as, is they are really good at preventing fraud. Obviously, it's an increased price, but I think if you look right here, I think Super Coffee does a $15 off for the person that refers as well as the referral. So that's what Sean was saying, especially if you sell things online that have a very high price value, you're going to be more at risk for fraudulent activity in terms of referrals and things like that.
And another common thing I've been saying, so it's another bonus, I guess, is everybody's creating a subscription-based model.
I love it.
I see it everywhere. We've seen it with Pure Vita.
Pure Vita.
We've seen it with now Super Coffee has this. They have a subscription where you can save money.
We just actually implemented we're 1 month into a for Sugar and Kush, a subscription thing. And why is everyone doing this? I mean, I'll give my insight and then you can do yours. Guys, reoccurring money, which would then normalize your revenue stream, but even more, if you can start off the month with, say, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, or whatever it might be in revenue without spending $1 to market to gain that, that is a huge win. And that's the biggest thing that I'm now seeing with the subscription like base like that. You're starting off your months, or you're adding revenue into the month without spending any marketing revenue. So that's
a huge
like,
incentive
especially
to
for
investors.
e-commerce. If I can tell you one thing, like that's the biggest thing. I mean,
I gotta figure out a way to do that with Reborn. But it's something
huge.
you gotta play in, because people want to save money. People don't want to think about it, especially products like this. They run out.
It's a no-brainer.
And people want.
This is a way of life. This is not like a
I can see
product
that
I
with
just buy.
makeup, hair, shampoo, all these products. Amazon obviously has that. Every time you buy a product, you can do subscription.
That's why you create a brand and not a product, because you get loyal customers that will spend that money every time.
I love it. That's it, guys. I hope you liked the episode. I hope it was super helpful. If you're listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere in the audio version, give us a 5-star rating, give us a review. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe for more content. You can also tweet us. We got @mscopac.
Matthew_Alexander with 2 X's on IG.
You got to make that account public.
Oh, okay. Public.
We'll fix that today. And you could also tweet me at Sean_Azari, or leave any questions if you're watching again on YouTube.
We love Super Coffee, and we love our listeners. So
I think it's okay.
Vanilla is fire. It's amazing.
The mocha's all right. It's not my
Vanilla's
favorite.
awesome.
See you next week.
See you next week.